This is another draft here for MTGOntario again, and it's FAM, of course, as usual. And we're just cranking out drafts here, one day at a time, and just get things started again. Let's see here. This pack's pretty good. The first thing that actually jumps out to me, besides the Vidal Anatomist, is the Sky Hunter, actually. White Flyers is actually an archetype I like a lot in this format, but looking at this pack, we got a lot of things we can pick from. We got the Sky Hunter, we got a Blister Stick Shaman, we got a Piston Sledge, an Anatomist, and if I want to rare draft, I can take a Revoker. But I think the most powerful card in the pack here is Anatomist. Piston Sledge is also very good, but it's not something I want to first pick right away, not knowing what exactly I want to go into. I think to play safe here, and because I do kind of like blue in this archetype, in this format, I'm going to take the Anatomist here and see how that pans out. I also kind of find that blue is a little bit underdrafted, so usually you can scrape together a pretty decent blue deck. So looking at this pack, I see a Pure Strider, I see a Burn the Impure, and Steel Sabotage, and everything else is not that exciting. I think the pick here is either between a card that's in a different color or something that we know we could most likely play, like Pure Strider, but I think that Burn the Impure is good enough to go red for that. And then looking at this pack, the rare is missing, and then there's 3 uncommons in the pack, so I mean, it's not necessarily a signal, but I'm going to take it as one nevertheless. So maybe the person to our right will consider the fact that he passed us a red card and then maybe avoid red. Alright, well, this pack's rather interesting. We didn't see any Infect cards in the first 2 packs, so there's no reason for us to think about going Infect, but now there's 2 Rotwolves in the same pack. Considering we went blue and red here, I don't think we're gonna, I don't want to have to scrap both my picks if we want to go towards an Infect plan, so I'm not really looking at the Rotwolves at the moment. Treasure Mage, Serum Raker definitely stand out. Peace Strider actually is also a reasonable card to consider. Spin Engine is probably something that might come back, but I think the card that stands out the most here is the Serum Raker. The Treasure Mage is also pretty good, but I mean, unless we had something that cost 6 or more at this point, there's no real reason to take the Treasure Mage here, so I'll take the Serum Raker. So there's another Rotwolf. It's pretty surprising, actually. Looking at this pack, we see a Viridian Claw, a Gust Skimmer, a Flare Husk, Oculus. Phyrexian Rager is a potential card we might want to move on because the red cards in this pack are not exciting, so Burn the Impure might be something that might get cut later down the line. I think the picks are really between Gust Skimmer and Viridian Claw. Viridian Claw is definitely a better equipment than Flare Husk. The question is, does our deck need to have something like that? Viridian Claw is amazing in an Infect deck, and something like Oculus will probably come around. I'm going to try and go for like a pseudo flying plan and get this Gust Skimmer here. Yeah, that's basically all I got to go move on. That's another Rotwolf, jeez. Maybe we could have moved, and wow, there's a Piston Sledge in here too. Jeez. There's a lot of Infect that we could have played here. Like if we first picked Piston Sledge, maybe we would have had like 3 Rotwolves in our decks. Well, anyways, at this point there's a Fangred Marauder, a Piston Sledge. I think it's too late to jump on the Rotwolf plan, because at this point I think there's not too much of a reason for us, and we've got way too many non-infected picks that I don't want to throw away at this point. So I think that going green for the Fangred Marauder at this point is a pretty good thing to do. Piston is alright, but again, I don't think that we're going to need to have that at this point. Also, we could go green and splash to Burn the Impure, which makes up for not picking up any good red cards. At the moment, nothing really exciting here, and Belier's Keeper is a lot better than a generic 8/8, so I'm going to take that and move on. Well, there's another Belier's Keeper, we could take that, seems fine. Glissa's Courier is probably something that might come around at this point, but there's what, like 9 cards left in this pack? Yeah, I guess it could be the last card in the pack, but I doubt it. Yeah, we're not really playing Fuel for the Cause, so I mean, we could, but I don't really want to. So I'll take the Keeper here and continue on from there. That's a foil contested war zone. Or we could take a Mirren Spy. Foil contested war zone, you say? Or Mirren Spy? I mean, at the moment, I mean, how good is Mirren Spy really? Like, well, okay, let's just be real here. I'm not gonna play the contested war zone. I just really considered rare drafting it at this point. We're not. We didn't see too many black cards, and I really like just more Replutter, but it's too much of a color commitment. So I guess I'll take the Spy here. Or I'll see myself. Oh wait, well, let's see here. Glissa's Courier is a fine sideboard card. Tangle Hulk is alright. Probably fine for 5 drops as it is. So Spire Serpent also not really needed. Fuel for the Cause. Not gonna be hard pressed for counter spells. So I'll take a sideboard card. This might be played main deck depending on how our deck shapes up. Tangle Mantis is a good man. Fits into this pseudo like what do you call it? This sort of dinosaur plan that we have going on here. The Spin Engine's also decent here. We're not really playing red, but it's a card that blocks Cyst Bearer, so that's something to keep in mind. And nothing exciting here. I'll take the best creature out of the pack. And I'll take something I can play, potentially. Our deck's not really on the exciting side, but I think that Frangren Marauder at that when it came up was a pretty good signal that non-infect green was open for us. So and then the creepers that followed it right after was pretty good for our sort of dinosaur plan here. Blue-green dinosaur is not exactly the ideal. I think it's green-red is probably the best archetype for it, but it's not the worst either. I mean, something like Vidalcan Anatomist will help you, you know, set up the late game, and then really dominate the board once you have everything set up. Hopefully in pack 2 and 3 we can pick up some color fixing, so we can play our Burn the Impure. But yeah, at the moment it's not too bad. Probably gonna hide this Spire Serpent. I don't think we're gonna be too hurt for 5 drops at the moment. I mean, by the end of the draft. But at the moment, like, we already have 2, so we should be okay. We've got 11 solid creatures, so it's alright. This pack, kind of blank for us. Could splash and arrest, aside from splashing the Burn the Impure that we already have. Everything else is just really bad. Like, there's literally nothing for us here. All the blue cards are more or less just terrible. Carapace Forger and Archers, jeez, this pack's bleh. There's not even a good red splash here. Like, I might even consider just hate drafting. I mean, I'm definitely taking the Arrest here as the only real playable card. I mean, I could take a Flight Spellbomb, but I don't see a real reason to. I'm pretty sure something like that will come around. But then again, this pack's pretty miserable, so it might not. But I think taking the Arrest here is fine. It might just be a better splash than the Burn the Impure, especially if we pick up like a Gold Mirror over an Iron Mirror or something like that. So yeah, I suppose. It might not necessarily be correct, but that pack was just god-awful. Alright, here, what do we got? We got a Darkslick Drake, Barrage Ogre, a Molder Beast, Snowball Lifestaff, Mirror Propagator. Mirror Propagator is not that exciting. I think the Drake is probably the pick here. It's definitely a color that we want to be playing, and it's probably going to be one of our main colors. Barrage Ogre is powerful, and it combos well with Mirror Propagator. But we're probably not going to be playing red. If anything, we're splashing the Burn the Impure or even the rest at this point. Molder Beast is probably something that could come around. It's common as well, so the likelihood of other ones being in this draft are high, whereas Darkslick Drake's uncommon, so I'm going to take that while I can. Okay. These packs are pretty bad. Soliton is a good man. I mean, if we pick up a heavy Arbalist, it's a really good man. But The Razor Verge Thicket sort of stands out at me at this point because it helps us splash and arrest, and Burn the Impure can sit on the side as a result. Everything else is sort of mediocre, and yeah, like the only card really in our color is Soliton, so I'm gonna kind of ignore that for now and take the land. So try and fix for the arrest that we have. I kind of want to pick up some mana mirrors, but considering how the first couple of packs went, I'm not really sure what's going on with this draft. I kind of figured I'd put one of the persons to my left in Infect, so let's hope that panned out and they ship me a bunch of cards, non-Infect cards. Geez, these packs are miserable. Interesting. You take a Mirror Galvanizer as a Grey Ogre at the moment. Really just does not do anything in our deck. I mean, the plan is to pick up some mana mirrors later on, but I mean, I'm not gonna commit to that. I mean, ideally we'd like some mana mirrors because our deck requires a lot of mana. But I don't know. I think taking the Telgilad Fallen here is fine, I suppose, because it's a defensive pro artifact creature, I guess. I think it's just god awful. Can't take anything here. Yeah, sure, why not? There's a Dark Slick Shores, a Tumble Magnet, a Thundering Bird, a Glint Hawk. There's a lot of cards in here still. It's awkward considering how the other packs have been, but I'm surprised that the Tumble Magnet is actually still here. The rare is here, and one of the uncommons here. So 2 uncommons were picked up, and let's see, there's 11 cards in this pack, so 4 cards have been taken out. So the rest are then one other common's been taken out. Wait, no, 2 commons and 2 uncommons have been taken. And they've been taking them over Tumble Magnet. So maybe something like Galvanic Blast Arc Trail, because I'm pretty sure that's a print run that I see a lot. Well, I mean, I guess it's a common and uncommon, so they don't necessarily print together, but that does come up quite often. But I'm going to take the Tumble Magnet here, in case there was any doubt. This pack, Sylvalk Replica, good man. The rest of it, don't really care about. It's another Glint Hawk idol we're passing, and something to keep in mind. Whoever has like the White Weenie based aggro deck, that could be a cause for concern. So I'm gonna hide the land here to keep our actual card count in mind. So at the moment, that's another. Oh, okay. We got choice between a Silver Mirror and a Sylvalk Replica here. Part of me wants to take another removal spell, but considering the way our deck looks like it might be curving out, I think that the Mana Mirror will be more important to us. I do know that our deck will be light on removal spells, but I'm considering there's been a huge lack of Mana Mirrors coming in this pack in general, in pack 2. I'm a little concerned, so I think taking it here is probably the safer pick. And looking at this pack, there's pretty much nothing I want, so I will take a Halt Order as a card I might play. I'm gonna hide it for now though. Let's go ahead and hide this Spin Engine. I think I'm probably going to hide this Burn the Impure. I think we're more likely going to play the Arrest since we can fix for it easier at this point. I mean, the Burn the Impure is not out of the question if we find something like an Iron Mirror or something like that, but as it stands, I think the Arrest is better. Nothing really here. Could probably play this Azuri Archers on the board. I mean, in my last draft I brought in the Azuri Archer. That was alright. Molar Beast came back. That's a good sign. So we'll bring that in. Pack really has nothing here. I'll take the only card I think is useful, which is the Ferivore. And nothing really does anything here. I will take the Golden Foundry. Okay, and then it just becomes elementary. Okay, so another pack and another rare I can't play, or don't want to rather. This pack is so bad still. Jeez, what's with all these terrible packs? I don't really want to take another Telegelad Fallen as a defensive pro artifact creature. Saberclaw Golem, no. I'm not really looking to play the red cards here. The only really cards for us here are Trigon of Thought, which is ridiculously slow, and Stoic Rebuttal. I'm not really sure how late game our deck will go, but I'm not. I guess taking the Stoic Rebuttal might be a little bit better than Trigon. I'm not exactly sure here. I never really liked playing with Trigon, because if you have time to get Trigon going, I feel like you should already be ahead anyways. I'm going to take the Counterspell, because I think at least I can play that, and it's a, it's a catch-all card, so should be okay with that. This pack, we've got a Skyo School and a Sylvok Replica. It's kind of tough. Now that we have the Molder Beast, and we can pair it with the Fangrid Marauder as well, the Sylvok Replica goes up a lot more in value too. But at the same time, like, Skyo School is just such a solid man. And, I mean, if we take one, the other one's definitely not coming back. It just depends on how our deck looks like. I think at the moment, our deck should be okay in terms of flying and bigger creatures at the end. Blue-green is notorious for having bad removal, like bad solutions to things. So I think taking the Sylvok Replica is probably safer here. It helps us curve better too, as it's an earlier drop. So yeah, and it combos again with Molder Beast and Fangrid Marauder. Probably is a lot more useful than an extra looting effect. So yeah, I'll take that. Pack doesn't have too much for me. Jeez, there's a lot of Infect cards in this pack. Holy Jesus. Wow. Well, surprised there's still. I'm surprised to still see no more Mana Mirror. So taking the Silver Mirror, that pack might have been correct. I think taking the Lumen Geardrake is the only real card we can take here. There's nothing else that's really very good for us. It's not like we're actually going to play it as in the Metalcraft deck. I think at this point it's just going to be a 4-mana 2/2 flyer. We could go for Bladed Pinions maybe to give our giant monsters like jump, but I'm not that hard pressed to play something like Bladed Pinions. Not that exciting to me, so I guess I'll go for a little bit of flying. Maybe the Darksteel Mirror? Nah, I just never want to bring myself to play Darksteel Mirror, so. Trinket Mage with nothing to fetch. Okay. Maybe I'll get a Spell Bomb? I don't know. I guess I could have taken an Origin Spell Bomb the turn before. This is kind of miserable. There's really nothing else in this pack. I mean, we could take Bonds of Quicksilver, but that just feels terrible. Like, I'm thinking about what I can get out of this deck, and maybe a Horizon Spellbomb is left for me to pick up, but no, you know what, I'm going to take the Trinket Mage, and then if anything, I'm going to cut it, but at this point, like, I'd rather just take that and cut it than take a Bonds of Quicksilver, because, like, that's just ridiculously slow, and I hate that card. Oh, wow, I should have taken that Soliton earlier. Here's a Heavy Arbalist. Can I take that still? I really just want this Silver Mirror, to be honest, because this is the second Mana Mirror we've seen all draft, and we took the first one what we saw. So at this point, I think we just can't take any more risk, and we have to make sure that our deck has enough mana to function. So unfortunately, we have to pass this Heavy Arbalist, and there's a Flash Allergy, Instant Infection, and Taemite still left in this pack. Well, anyways, Silver Mirror it is. That's a dinosaur. And by dinosaur, I mean giant clone. And it happens to be in the same pack as the Skyo School, obviously, but I mean, I'm not one to play things that cost infinite mana, but as you know, infinite mana goes, 7 mana 7/7s are the way to go, I suppose. Can't really go wrong. Yeah, take that. So nothing, huh? What do we not want to play against? I don't really care about Trigon or any of these other cards. I'm gonna take the Fume Spitter. It's the most useful card in the back for somebody else. Untamed Might really isn't a card that will benefit our deck, but neither are any of these cards. I don't see ourselves getting Metalcraft or Surtark like ever. So I see maybe just taking the Untamed Might, but I'm probably gonna cut it because I don't see our deck being able to play it. But we'll see. The Trigon tabled, so my pick of the Historic Rebuttal was probably correct there. Okay, so looking at this pack, there's really just nothing I care about. You could probably take a sideboard Blunt the Assault, and the Auroch Edgewright can... Yeah, anyways. The Bladed Pinions came back too. I guess I'll take that. I mean, I could hate this Carrion Call, but I don't really see a real big need to at this point. We could probably get someone with Bladed Pinions, who knows. We have a bunch of giant monsters. Soul Parry, sure. So this deck's not exactly exciting. It's actually kind of awkward, but we could probably get there. It's not the worst. Yeah, should be alright. So a couple things to note. We could have had maybe a third Sylvok replica, or we could have had a instead of the second one that we picked up earlier, we could have had a what was that called? Skyhill School. And instead of this Gargantuan, we could have had a Skyhill School as well. So we could have double Skyhill School, but I think this guy, I mean, as far as 7-mana creatures goes, this guy's probably up there. And you know, he just can be really ridiculous if you put it like, if you copy something like, you know, Darkslick Drake or something like that. Can you imagine if I just copied this guy? Holy jeez, that's a beating. Yeah, I think I'm cutting this Trinket Mage. Like, I don't think, even if we had this Bonds of Quicksilver in our deck, I think it would still be getting cut, so I'm not too worried about that. Like, we had the chance of maybe getting a Horizon Spellbomb, so, or even a Flight Spellbomb, I'd probably play it, just for value. So anyways, let's go to deck building. Put that in, put that in, put that in. Sure, we'll put that in for now. No, not Trinket Mage. Mirren Spy? Yeah, why not? Defensive Flyer. That guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. Sure, for now. Gliss's Career. Sure. Tumble Magnet, replica. Silver Mirrors, and Bladed Pinion. And let's play the rest. So at the moment, we're not playing with the Trigon of Thought. We could possibly play this as just like a generic guy. We have the White Splash anyways. Definitely not playing any of the red cards. And maybe Halt Order? Spire Serpent? No, we're fine for 5 drops. I think the Trigon's fine. I don't really... I could see it being a really bad card in certain matchups, but I mean, if we get paired up against the right matchup like the Dinosaur's Mirror, it could be a huge blowout. So let's just sort our costs here. I mean, costs and creatures and non-creatures. So, in terms of actual artifact, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 artifacts. So, Looming Great Drake's kind of miserable in this deck, not gonna lie. But, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, it's still a fine creature. It's a 4-mana 2/2 flying. What more can you really ask for? In some formats, that comes at a premium, so. But, let's just do this. I'll put the Razor Verge ticket in and see what Moto suggests for lands. 871. Double green cards. We don't really need to get these guys out by turn 3 or turn 4. I'm not that hard pressed. We'll have other things to do too, so we should be okay. I think this mana distribution should be fine. And actually, this is really 881 because we count the Razor Verge as another green source. We should be fine like this, I suppose. Yeah, seems alright to me. So let's see how green-blue dinosaurs go and see if we can get there. See you back here for round 1.